What's going on, everyone? So, Chicago reports are coming out per Chicago Sun-Times that Nikola Vucevic can be had for multiple seconds, that the Chicago Bulls no longer are seeking a first. Originally, they were seeking a first. Even like a week or two ago, there were reports that they wanted a first for Nikola Vucevic. A couple weeks ago, there were talks about, that he could be had for a couple seconds. One of the rival GMs or whatever were talking about like the value that he sees and like what most likely they could get in a return. So everyone was like, 2 seconds, go get Vucevic, right? Well, now we got confirmation that appears to actually be the case, that no one's biting at a first, which no one should. Look, he is having an excellent season, right? He's 20-10 guy, shooting like 45% for three-point range. The guy is having literally a career year. He has been fantastic. And he's a guy that can really help multiple teams, but he's 34 years old. He's making $21 million next season, $20 million this season, which, some teams, if there's a team that wants it, $21 million could give you some flexibility next season as like, a trade piece because they'd be expiring. Touch on that here in a moment. But point is that he could help some of these teams, right? Guy that come in, slot in at the center position, and just help you rebound. Not really the great shot blocker, things like that. But this is a Laker channel, and many people have been screaming for the Lakers to go get Vucevic. And look, I have said I think Nikola Vucevic is the best option that is out there as far as centers go, right? You look at kind of all the centers that are out there. He is the most skilled, right? Valanciunas is a guy that we all kind of just think is like probably most likely. Nikola Vucevic is like, a souped up charged version of that. He can make plays, shoot three ball, rebound, right? Not really a great defensive guy, but he'd give you a block and a steal a game. And the idea is like slotted alongside Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis would mask like every issue that Nikola Vucevic has, right? And him and Anthony Davis as like that big man pairing would be really tough for a lot of teams, right? Especially if Anthony Davis can kind of be that off-ball, help defender, help defend out on the perimeter, as well as be the help, weak side help defender down on the interior. My concern is LeBron James shifting and playing the three, right? Because yes, he's been more active. He's been more physical. He has been just better defensively. And to his credit, he's done an excellent job on the defensive end, and the Lakers have much improved. But you see at times, even in these stints, he'll kind of take a possession off here and there. He'll kind of take some time off. My concern is the wear and tear that you'd put on LeBron James to have the responsibility of now defending out on the perimeter. If he's willing to buy into it and he's willing to do it, I mean, great, because he still can defend, and he is that athlete that we need out on the perimeter that can help with rebounding. I've talked heavily about the long ball rebounds. Right? The Lakers' biggest problem is teams are just jacking up threes on the Lakers. That's what teams are doing. They're just chucking up threes on the Lakers. And because they're chucking up threes on the Lakers, that leads to a lot of long ball rebounds. And then at that point, it's a 50-50 ball. And it's just a foot race between D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves. Like, these guys aren't athletic. These guys aren't big, right? So opposing teams are like, I can win a foot race or out jump these guys. You've seen like Max Christie has had a real impact in that and just keeping balls alive, crashing the glass, winning and getting these 50-50 balls. The defense has improved greatly because Max Christie is out there defending out on the perimeter and stuff, right? Like, one of those things that just that small insertion of athleticism, youth, and speed has changed the Lakers in a lot of ways. It's not just Max Christie, right? Again, LeBron James has been buying in. Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell have been much better defensively, right? Getting after it, making the efforts. It's been a real collective effort, but it makes it easier with a guy like Max Christie who has the youth, has the athleticism, has the foot speed, and those things to really have an impact. One of the things also that I like about Nikola Vucevic that I've talked about with Valanciunas, right, is kind of the settlement, right? Lakers offense gets stagnant. All teams do. Even the best offenses get stagnant. Boston will go on like 5-minute stretches where they don't score, right? It happens, right? So it would be nice to have that guy that you can just dump the ball down to and he can go to work, right? So guys aren't hitting shots not falling. Well, just dump it down to Vu, let him go to work. He's also a very good, willing passer, particularly out of the double team, so he can find that cutter. He can throw it up and lob it to Anthony Davis. He can kick it out to Dalton Connect or a Max Christie or whoever the corner man at 3 is, or if LeBron is coming off ball as a slasher, boom, easy bounce pass or a lob to LeBron, right? He has that capability to be that versatile guy. I've talked about going after like Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic at the same time, just really kind of going all in and just making teams have to beat you. But even just to get a Nikola Vucevic, again, I don't hate the idea. The Lakers need perimeter defense, right? In my opinion, that's the biggest priority right now because it solves the long ball rebounds. It solves, the 3 and D, makes us a better. I mean, look at how good we've been defensively the last 7-8 games, right? Imagine if you actually had real athletes and real two-way guys out on the perimeter. Lakers were number 1 in defensive rating for a 6-game stretch because everyone was buying in, locking in Max Christie with LeBron and, their athleticism with Anthony Davis and then Austin Reeves really getting after it defensively, D'Angelo Russell, Gabe Vincent, right? All these guys. Imagine if you had these defensive, a Bruce Brown, Dorian Finney-Smith, Kyle Kuzma, Day'Ron Sharpe, you had all these defensive pieces, or not Day'Ron Sharpe, Jeremy Grant was who I meant, and having all these guys out there that can switch and defend and do multiple things. Something that I've talked about, particularly on the defense side. People are like, why do we run this defense or that defense? Because we don't really have a bunch of options, right? We don't have, all the, we could do this look and that look and this look and that look because you got all these athletes and you got all these defensive guys, right? Why do we switch everything? Because we don't have the guys that have the quickness and agility to fight through the screens and recover. Like Jared Vanderbilt, you don't ever have to switch on Jared Vanderbilt because he's good enough at navigating screens, athletic enough, and has the movement, the lateral quickness to get through that, squeeze through the screen, and then also recover. Or if he does go under a screen, he's long enough, quick enough, and lengthy enough to get back and still contest, right? We don't have anybody else like that outside of Cam Reddish, who's not the defensive guy that Vando is. I mean, he's doing a great job. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to undersell Cam Reddish, but he's not Jared Vanderbilt level, right? But if you could get those multiple athletes, you get multiple guys, you get the 3-and-D guys, to me, that's the biggest pressing need that the Lakers really need. The Lakers really just need a backup center, right? That's why I've said, Valanciunas would be fine. Him as your starting center, him in a starting role, absolutely not, right? If Anthony Davis misses a game or two, sure, that's one thing. But him in a starting role, it's different, right? When the Pelicans had Valanciunas, they were expecting him and needing him to play 35 to 40 minutes a game. It's very different on the Lakers. We were only looking for him to play 15, maybe 20 minutes, if that, literally half the time. So it's not as impactful. And he's going up against bench units and stuff like that. You're not as concerned with him, in a bad matchup or something, right? And you have Anthony Davis at any point you could just slot next to, and he could clean up all that stuff for Valanciunas, right? So you don't have those things. So again, I don't think a starting 2010 center is the biggest need for the Lakers. However, he might just be cheap enough to where you might as well just do it. Right, I've talked about, I'm not big on, Valanciunas, you're not giving up a first 4 or anything like that. But if you could get Valanciunas for 2 seconds, right, it would be kind of hard to turn that down. Right, because even if I don't expect him to be as good as he has been on Chicago, right, because also he's going to be slotted alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis and stuff like that. But even if he's a 15-10 guy, right, or a 12-10 guy, but he's giving you, a block and a rebound and shooting, let's say instead of 43, 45%, it's 38% from 3. So you give me a 38% three-point shooter that can give me a double-double a night, slotted alongside Anthony Davis. It's just, is that worth LeBron James playing the 3 for? Like I've talked about, Zion? Yes, Zion is so good, so polarizing, can change the landscape of your team when he's healthy and on, that it would justify moving LeBron to the 3. I'm not saying Lakers anything about it. I'm just using him as an example, right? Just want to make that clear. Somebody like that, or a Giannis, or whatever, right? A guy that is so impactful that, yes, you figure it out, right? Is Valanciunas that guy? Potentially. Now, not in the sense of he's going to still be a 20-10 guy. More in the sense of he's a guy that could just give you a completely different look. And if LeBron's kind of willing in to do the dirty work, and you can still kind of run and operate through Valanciunas, or not Valanciunas, Nikola Vucevic, you may be able to kind of balance some stuff out here, right? And it could be kind of one of those things where on like, you know, on like, do you kind of mask LeBron on defense, right? So like, because now you have Anthony Davis out on the perimeter patrolling. You have LeBron. The problem is all the action's on the strong side, and that's where LeBron would have to be. But do you maybe like on defense inverse that? So have Anthony Davis out on the strong side and maybe move LeBron to the weak side. Kind of have him operate as the forward, AD kind of out there. Because AD can, I mean, we've seen him defend and cover so much ground. And you have him, but then now you don't have that weak side help for Vucevic, right? The two V's are throwing me off, right? Vucevic, right? So I don't know. JJ Redick would have to be creative, particularly on the defense side, unless LeBron just really buys into it, right? Really kind of pushes it. My concern is just, I don't care who you get. If LeBron James, who's already dealing with a foot injury, is basically just, you know, hampered and on one leg come playoff time, you're not winning anything anyway, right? So that's kind of where the problem lies. But the cost for Vucevic might be so cheap that it might be worth just taking the gamble. And then he's a $21 million expiring contract next season that you could use as like a trade chip if it doesn't work out. Like, let's say it doesn't work, or it's just kind of awkward or clunky, or it does end up kind of hampering LeBron. Well, then now you have a $21 million. So basically you're in the position that you were with D'Lo, except for with $3 million more that maybe you could go make another play or make another trade or make another move in the offseason or at next year's trade deadline. So you still kind of maintain flexibility. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you love this idea? Do you hate this idea? Do you think, yes, go get Vucevic? Do you think, no, stay away from Vu? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.